All right.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, I say this every time, but this is legitimately a very special episode of Let's Get Trash.
It just gets even more special.
This is our first Let's Get Educated
I like that title.
episode.
That's a good title.
Educated. Educated how, you mean? Well, this time, instead of doing a cinematic film, instead of doing a fictional narrative.
We ran out of films. We did every film.
Yeah, films is done. Go back to our back catalog. We've done every movie. Yeah, instead of doing a fictional narrative put together by writers, performed by actors, and visualized by a director, we're doing a documentary.
Yep.
Because we're smart as hell. And obviously...
We know shit now.
Obviously, the only documentary we could possibly be talking about on the first ever Let's Get Educated, UNTOLD.
Yes.
The girlfriend who didn't exist, or the girlfriend who wasn't there. What was the title?
The phantom girlfriend who was in the phone.
I literally don't even know the title.
Something like that.
I didn't even bother to look it up.
I do want to bring it up because I want to reference the names correctly. So let me bring it up.
Yeah, you bring it up. Let me bring up my notes. All right, we're off to a bad start, folks.
We're educating you right now.
I wasn't expecting to be educated or to educate somebody. Yeah, no, ladies and gentlemen, Manti Teo is the topic du jour. And, I mean, this doc just came out last week or something like that. It's hot off the presses.
Yeah.
It's gone, like, everybody's talking about it.
Even us.
Social media, even all the way to us. We even broke our...
format.
Yeah, we broke our format in order to talk about Manti. And, damn.
A lot of twists and turns.
So before we get into the documentary and what the stuff we saw, are you a football fan?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Definitely. Not college, but NFL, I've been usually pretty plugged in.
Who's your team?
Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're from Dallas area, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a Cowboys fan since I was a kid.
Yeah. Do you remember this story when it broke?
No,
I don't remember this 2012.
No, I don't. And honestly, I may not have really been paying attention to much then. In 2012, I was probably just smoking a bunch of weed and, making music or doing some bullshit with my friends or something.
Yeah, and what are you doing nowadays?
Same shit. Same exact shit. Except now I watch football. I've added that.
You've added football?
Yeah, I've added football to that. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I remember this vividly. I remember when I was living in South America at the time.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, this happened when I was living in Colombia.
Damn.
And so it was just like this huge topic. It was so... it was so funny. And I was talking to my brother about it last night, the night before recording this. Me and my brother were on the phone. I was telling him to watch the doc. I should have told him to wait for the episode, but I just told him to watch it. And we were talking about how funny it was and how hilarious I thought it was at the time. And then after watching this documentary and seeing like the jokes that they're talking about at the time, everybody was making jokes about him, and then they show some of like the jokes and the memes, and I was like, yeah, it's still so funny.
Well, what was the headline like when you heard about it? Like back then, what was like the headline? Like, what was your understanding of the story?
The Deadspin article.
The Deadspin article.
One that broke it is what
because everyone else's article, it seemed, was he in on it? Was he using this as a ploy to get the Heisman?
Right.
Was that a part of it?
That was a part of everybody.
Yeah.
Because the Deadspin article that broke came out. I mean that as we see in the documentary, this is the second half of the documentary. The guys at Deadspin, they put the story out, and of course they didn't have all the details. They didn't know exactly what had happened and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes out, it's this huge, like crazy hoax, crazy scandal, and since we didn't have the details, and I still don't think we do. Nobody knew what to believe. So it was definitely, but the definitely thing was like, she's a hoax. And then there's all these questions of like, then it's like, well, obviously we have to know, is he in on it? What was the reason before?
How
All
did
this
this
kind of
happen?
stuff. Yeah. How could this possibly happen? Don't forget, 2012, online relationships were not as ubiquitous as they are today.
Sure.
This happens to people every day now.
Yeah.
Anybody that's on a dating app has definitely talked for at least a little bit to somebody who was not actually the person on the other end.
Yeah.
And you just hope, as soon as you if it's going well, and as soon as you decide to meet up, or I know I know a lot of women have like a policy of like, before we even go out, like we have to have like a phone conversation or maybe even a FaceTime.
I think FaceTime would be nice. I wish that was more. I might start normalizing that one.
I mean, I get it.
Is it weird?
No, well, I understand it for safety purposes.
Yeah.
I've had situations date like, a girl will, if I ever run into that again, if I, am out on the dating scene, if I ever run into that again and someone's like, we have to do a phone call or a FaceTime, I'm like, that's totally fine. But we got to keep it like short. We got to do 2 to 4 minutes, like keep it really short. Because what happens sometimes is like, let's have a phone call first, and then it's like a long phone call, and it's almost like but I don't know, and I'm not
like a phone call guy.
Yeah, and I'm not I'm not like charming on the phone or funny. I don't like being on the phone, so I don't if I'm like if this is my first interaction with somebody.
That's already a lot.
Yeah, and I got to be,
you
so
be on.
I've had that.
Yeah.
I've had that once or maybe even twice where it's like,
I've never had anyone ask me to do that.
Okay.
But I've thought about it just because there's certain, this has happened to everyone, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had times where like maybe I go out with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she just legitimately did not look anything like her photos.
Well, that's
I don't know if that's really catfishing, but
I mean it is, but that's
just like diet catfishing.
That's certainly less nefarious. But yeah, no, I mean I would only do it. I don't care because my policy is if I get there and you don't look like what I expect you to look like, that's fine. We'll just have we'll still have I can have a conversation with anybody. So let's just hang out and we'll talk. And
that's kind of how I feel about it.
If it's not that great, we just won't see each other again.
Yeah.
But for women, it's a safety issue.
Women.
Well, safety thing, but it's not worth it to me to have to do again, I'll do the 5 minutes to like let you know I'm a real person.
Yeah.
But if we try to have like our first,
you're just showing like your weapons in a FaceTime. Like these are my nunchucks. These are my throwing stars.
This is my Ninja Turtle wall.
Yeah, it's my Ninja Turtle wall.
Of all the Ninja Turtle weapons. So it's, but
just brushing your teeth like while on the FaceTime.
But yeah, after a few minutes, I'm just like,
yeah.
Honestly, it's not a good sign. I'm just lying there because it's like when you're in a relationship, like when you're in high school and you just have to talk on the phone every night to your fucking high school girlfriend.
Sure.
It makes you want to kill yourself. And I'm just sitting there like talking on the phone to a stranger, and like she's trying to get to know me, and I'm just
what did you eat today?
I'm not. It's like I can't be interesting because I don't care.
Yeah. This is a really interesting.
So I'll never do that again. I'll give you the 5-minute FaceTime to prove I'm real, and then I'll be like, all right, I'll see you Thursday night at this bar, and we'll have our first actual like real date.
Yeah.
But I can't, I can't like ruin. I can't be charming on the phone, and so there's no point of us even trying to go out with each other. If you're gonna judge me based on this phone conversation, you're not gonna like me.
Have you ever heard of Marco Polo?
I mean, what a crazy question to ask. I don't know what you mean. I know you mean something else.
No, it's an app.
Obviously, I've heard of.
It's an app.
Okay. No, I have not heard of an app called. What is it?
So this would be. I wish this was more mainstream. This you actually send like a video. It's like a video Snapchat. It's a Snapchat video basically,
okay.
But it doesn't like disappear. You can have like a conversation like throughout the day. But you could like send a video like, "Hey, just doing this today. Hope your day's going well." Blah blah blah, and it sends off. And it's just kind of like a text message, but it kind of keeps them. It doesn't like disappear immediately. Like that would be fine, even like something like that.
No, so here's why that wouldn't be fine. You're coming from a very male centric place.
Okay,
you're ignoring the most important aspect of this whole thing for women trying to date on the internet is that they need They need proof that you are who you say you are.
But if you were like, hey, Amanda, I hope your day's going well.
We know that that's not the case because in this Manti Teo doc, that very exact thing happens.
I guess.
I can go on YouTube.
Okay.
I can go on YouTube and find a video of a handsome guy being like, hey Amanda, hope your day's going well. I can find that.
Okay,
the point,
I guess. Yeah, okay.
The safety concern is that I just need to see that that's actually you.
Okay.
These are the modern day techniques. These techniques were not available to Manti Teo at the time.
That's true. He didn't know. He didn't even know to be careful.
And I gotta be totally honest with you. I mean, a lot of people have watched Untold, the girlfriend who didn't exist. And a lot of people are feeling a lot of sympathy for Manti. I've seen a lot of people being like, saying that this kind of rehabilitates his image. Now that we have like the full story, we have some distance from it. The same kind of thing with the Britney Spears thing. Like, we were so mean to Britney back in the day. I can't believe all these jokes were acceptable. They're saying that same thing about Manti Teo. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think it's still a lot on him. That's why we're going right out of the gate. It's still a lot on Manti. He is not without. He is not without blame.
Yeah.
In this incident.
Sure.
That's very important. But not to say he's guilty of anything, but he is 100%. He is not blameless.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so.
Because they brush over a lot of the stuff. Here's so the documentary is in 2 parts. It can be found on Netflix. Apparently the Untold series is a sports documentary series, so I'm guessing it's Netflix's answer to 30 for 30.
Have you watched any of the other ones? I don't want to talk about those.
I never even heard of them. I never even heard of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until after I watched this one that the trailer for the other 5 episodes all auto-played.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's more of these.
Just people getting catfished.
Yeah.
All of sports.
It's just all catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan got duped.
Yeah. Just Nastia Lukin goes on a date with a fat guy. Like,
he's like, oh, you're not who I thought. Oh, well. Yeah. Let's fuck.
Obscure athletes. Speaking of, by the way, I don't know what is Nastia Lukin. If you're watching this, and I know that you are, my DMs are wide open. Please, you hit that like button and hit that message me button, and let's get together, baby girl.
Where would you take her on a date?
Where would I take Nastia Lukin?
Yeah. With your bank account.
with my bank account. Boy, we're eating a lot of beans and chili on my bank account.
Yeah. You have to bust out the charm.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you like home cooked meal? Do you want to come see me play at the Sahara Lounge? Like, I don't have much.
I can put you on the guest list.
I don't have much to offer, but anyway,
a lot of stupid articles on this Netflix documentary. I just wanted to know some of the names. What was the name? What was the catfisher's name? Was it like
Renaya?
Renaya. Yeah.
So, and that's the first person we see. That's
yep.
This documentary opens up on Naya, or the nickname is Naya. The person's full name is Renaya, who is the culprit, who's dare we say mastermind?
Yeah, I would say mastermind. Pretty elaborate shit.
If this person wasn't riddled with a devastating combination of guilt and mental illness, they could honestly be very successful.
Yeah,
because
I don't know why they just don't make her a CIA agent.
I mean,
give her to some disguises and some like a target.
It's a little late for that now.
I don't know. I think she could morph into anyone that she wanted to.
I don't think that's the case.
That might be the take. That might be my take.
We've seen who they have morphed into, and
we've seen one person they can morph into.
Well,
who they now are.
They morphed. They morphed.
I'm just saying. I think she could go full method. Anything she wanted to. CIA, maybe get her.
So back in the day, at the time of this, at the time of this scandalous hoax, which is 2010 to 2012, while Manti's in college, his sophomore, junior, and senior year in college, he has an online relationship that starts pretty innocuously with Lene Kakua.
Yes.
And what's so funny is even hearing that name for the first time, because I was watching the doc and I was like, what was the fake girlfriend's name? I couldn't remember. And then they said it and it just all came rushing back to me. That name was a reference point for so many. I used that as a joke forever. Anytime somebody was like, oh, so-and-so's not here, or, whatever. Oh, my roommate's not here. You'd be like, oh, you don't even have a roommate, dude. What's your roommate's name? Lene Kakua? Like,
okay.
You could bust that name out anytime and people would understand the reference. And just, it was so funny, like, hearing all this stuff I hadn't paid attention to or thought about in a decade, and it's just all coming back. But, anyway, important to note that Renaya is, I guess we'll get this out of the way. Renaya is transgendered now. So now she considers herself a woman and whatever. They didn't change the name. Because I've never heard the name Renaya. I guess it can go either way.
Yeah.
Maybe the nickname Naya is more the thing, but they're calling her Renaya and got no problem with it. And it does seem like they're giving her, I don't know. You remember when?
It's hard to say.
You remember when Kevin Spacey got busted being a child predator?
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey was accused of pedophilia or whatever. And then the next day he comes out and he's like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
As if that was like his PR move to like, I'm gay, so you can't be mad at me.
You can't be mad at gay people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, that's not a.
Yep.
Well, not everybody was like that, but some people were like, that's not a gay thing. You're still in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so I don't know if Renaya
is she in trouble? Is that what you're asking?
I don't know if she transitioned to soften the blow of people being mad at her.
She tried to do
clearly she had some confusion all throughout her life.
Sure. Yeah.
Exacerbated by her upbringing and religious experiences and stuff like that. But I'm just right off the bat, this documentary is way too sympathetic to this person.
Yeah.
Renaya Osipusowa, whatever the person's last name is, Renaya is a fucking psychopath. There's a sociopath. She's crazy. She was crazy.
I mean, Dr. Phil was the only person on the documentary that he was like, this person's a sociopath. You know what I mean? That's my Dr. Phil impression.
Yeah, and maybe the documentary filmmakers, it can be argued.
You can't though. You can't.
Well, no, it can be argued that the documentary filmmakers, they just let her talk and give her side of the story.
Sure.
And they just maybe they said, we trust our audience to recognize this is psychopath, this is crazy behavior, and we don't want to discourage her encouragement by, and I'm sorry, we don't want to discourage her participation in our documentary by judging her or letting her know what we think of her, and we're just going to let it speak for itself. Hopefully that's it. But I immediately went to Twitter and I saw way more sympathetic takes to her than I should. And if you are feeling sorry for this person because they had a tough upbringing and they're trans and that's why he was a boy in a girl's body all along,
Sure.
or a girl in a boy's body, whichever direction it is. I don't even know. It was girls in a boy's body all along. That's this was his way of living out his life as a girl, back when it wasn't socially acceptable to do it 10 years ago.
Sure.
It's what he had to do. No, he fucking didn't. All right, there's plenty of transgender people who, obviously, it's a tough. I imagine it's a very tough decision to, make that. I'm sure you're not feeling great about yourself for a long time. But hurting famous strangers over the internet and keeping up a charade of a 3-year friendship / romantic relationship,
faking the death of your character, reviving the.
We'll get to that in a sec. And doing all the other voices. Don't forget, it was she would pass the phone to her brother,
your niece or something.
Well, the niece was real,
okay,
but that's the other thing is Renaya.
Oh, that's right.
Renaya was doing
multiple characters.
Renaya was doing like 5 characters per phone call.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier when I was like.
I mean, imagine if she did improv.
I mean,
if she should just do improv comedy or CIA.
That's what I mean. Imagine if she wasn't a sociopath who was very damaged and mentally unwell.
Yep. And had a computer.
She could have been something.
Yep.
But anyway, so I'm just saying right off the back, it's too sympathetic towards her. They try to make you feel.
They're pretty neutral on it. Yeah, it seems.
You think so? I don't think they're that neutral. I think I don't know. I think it's way more sympathetic than it should be. This person is a bad person.
I think I would be cautious of this person for sure. I think they did what you kind of were alluding to. Like, we'll let the audience kind of make their own decision. There's a lot of like moments where I think she's like, and I just felt so bad. And then this is when I really felt bad. And then it was really hard for me to go through. And it was just like her experience of it that she's like telling, which I'm sure maybe is true. But it's kind of like language that alludes you to champion her and her experience over like the actual facts and like the, that seems kind of weird to me. But I was able to make that distinction for myself.
Right. That's, she is very... she is not giving herself as hard a time as I think she should. I think she should feel bad about this.
Yeah.
She just says she feels bad, but I don't really believe her. She's given herself a lot of leeway.
Sure.
Making excuses for this kind of stuff. But there's so many quotes about this. It's there's so many quotes I wrote down. Most of it is quotes I wrote down, and it just stuff like my reaction to those things. But yeah, so what did you? I mean, you're coming into this fresh, basically never heard about it. What did you think about all this?
I thought it was pretty incredible, honestly. It was a very fascinating story. I'm sure anyone would. I would go ahead and say I'd recommend it to anyone out there that's kind of interested.
Oh, for sure. Go watch.
I really what's really sad, I think, the whole time is how well intentioned I think Manti is and how like dedicated he is, and just like maybe such a good guy, I don't know. I kind of buy it. Like, he seems like maybe a good dude, and it's like, man, that sucks that he like got so duped. What really sucks, man, I think they did kind of get me at the end with like all the internet bullying and shit. I was like, fuck, that sucks, dude.
No, he deserved it.
Okay. I don't think anyone deserves that, man. That sucks.
He deserved it. Yeah, yes, people do deserve bullying. And
I mean, sure, but
Manti
like,
absolutely,
where it fucks with your career and everything, and like that's just a little.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk
life.
Let's talk about that, because he goes. I mean, he was a presumptive star.
Sure.
The other thing is, don't forget, Manti was he's a little undersized. He's not the like. he's not the ideal proportions for an inside linebacker. He's there, but there were they left out some of the football discussions of obviously this is all centered around it, and this had a huge part to play in his. He would have been first round if it wasn't for this crazy ordeal. But whatever. He was undersized. He got to the NFL and he's been playing for 10 years, and he is not.
Yeah.
He hasn't sniffed Defensive Player of the Year. He's not great. Of course, he also attributes that to his anxiety or whatever the fuck.
Sure.
But yeah. I mean, he dropped down to the second round out of the first, which is huge money difference between first and second round. But he goes, I'm gonna read a quote from him, talking about the lead up to the draft, the NFL draft, talking about the combine, all that kind of stuff. I met with 22 teams, and they all asked me about being catfished. He's saying that as if he's saying that as every single team I met with, they all wanted to know about this thing, and he's saying that as if that's that's unfair to him.
Yeah, it is.
As if that's unfair to Manti to have to go through that. And it's hey, asshole, what the fuck else is anybody going to talk to you about? I mean, it's this is the thing. I mean, we have to get to the bottom of this. I don't know. We don't know if we can trust you. Don't forget, at the time, it's very, very plausible
that he was involved,
that he helped create this in order to. I don't think that's the case now, but it's very plausible that he helped create this in order to, have some sort of feel good story. Sure. The speculation was that he's perhaps gay. And that that's why he was
hiding it.
Yeah, that's why he wanted to have a secret. He wanted to have an internet girlfriend that lived somewhere else, like a middle school kid who's uncool. He's my girlfriend goes to another school. She's a model in Canada.
Yeah,
whatever. It's just, and then everyone's gonna think I'm cool, but they don't. But he can just be oh, I have a girlfriend. She lives in California. People are gonna everyone's going to wonder, why isn't the star linebacker at Notre Dame, why is he not out partying and mixing up with girls? Why doesn't he ever come party with the team? Oh, he's super religious and he has a girlfriend back in California. He's not going to cheat on her. Mm-hmm. He doesn't drink, doesn't party, whatever. And then when all this comes out, he's well, maybe he's gay. And instead of, he can't say I'm gay. I guess 2012 we weren't people. I guess who knows? I can't say I'm gay. My religion frowns on it, all this kind of horseshit. It's let me just make up another excuse and that'll be work. People thought that about him. He might have been complicit. Yeah, but I mean, again, there's nothing else to talk to you about. And again, he also makes it seem like that's all they asked him about. I know they did talk football with you, but they have to get this out of the way. They have to hear your side of the story.
From a PR perspective or for their team.
Just to see if they believe him.
Yeah.
Because, again, he might be...
It's an interview.
At the time of these interviews, he might be a sociopath who made this all up.
Sure.
The team has to know.
Get a read.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's reasonable, for sure. I think it's just kind of an example of how shit just gets fucking bonkers sometimes and how someone's image through the media can really just kind of get distorted and kind of insane, and for it to be in the moment to go to one place to to a trajectory to where we don't even know who this person is, so we're just not going to touch them, and then 10 years later we find out it's oh, actually he's a really good dude and he just fucked up, it's kind of weird. It kind of makes me think man, we don't know shit about anybody. We don't need to know shit about what's coming out in the headlines now. We really don't know what's actually happening. We'll know 10 years from now when we get a documentary about it or some shit. But
yeah, if they're willing to be honest.
Yeah.
Again, here's why I assert that Manti is not blameless.
Sure.
Okay. He is not. I mean. there's a part in the documentary where Renaya is being like, you know how she's like, everybody knows all the catfish techniques nowadays, all the reasons why you can't get on the phone, all the reasons why you can't get on FaceTime. Why didn't we do a Skype call? Oh, I guess I don't have service right now. I'm so sorry. The light went out in my room and you wouldn't be able to see me anyways. She's like, really? I can, pretending like having the camera off and pretending like it's not off and be like, I can see you. What's going on?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a connection issue. I used all of those examples. I was like, well, that's 3 examples, and you were together for fucking 2 years. So,
yeah,
Manti, that you should be out of examples after a week. Manti being distracted, or he wants to see her. He wants to have like a video conversation with her, which is very doable in 2012. And then she keeps jangling her keys, and he fucking gets distracted. He is not without blame, and that he's an idiot. First of all, I think Manti Teo is a fucking idiot.
I imagine I don't know. I think I kind of agree with you. Like, it's just ignorance, dude. Like, or like, I agree for different reasons.
Not for that long. I mean,
it's
again,
just like he's from a small community. He's very religious. Like, he's not really been in the real world. Like, I don't know. I think it's just like ignorance, bro. To me, it's like he's like probably only thinking. He really is like a sports guy. He's only thinking about that. Like, this relationship probably was like, this works. It's like bite-sized, and like it is kind of fucking weird, but it's fucked for sure. But I don't know. It's hard for me to like put all the blame. I feel like
I didn't say all the blame.
Yeah.
I didn't say all the blame. Clearly he was being hoaxed. He was being, preyed upon by a vindictive and like nasty person. But nevertheless, who's taken out her own mental illness and insecurity on a ostensibly kind-hearted stranger.
Yeah.
But
he should have known.
Well, he should have. Yeah. After the.
Yeah.
Again, I'll give him fucking 6 months
mm-hmm.
of I've never seen I've never seen a photo of this person that is not off her social media.
Yeah.
And then at some point it's like, okay, but you have to have more than that. There has to be. And again, if anybody who dates any girl at all, and you're involved with them, whether it's a casual relationship or whether you're dating for a long time or even married, especially of our generation,
eventually you have to see them.
You have to see them, but you're always seeing it. It can't. When the Deadspin reporters were doing their research, the only photos they found were off her were off the Lene Kakua social media page.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that like Manti had was, and they said it was only like 19 or 22 pictures or whatever.
Yeah. Over 2 years.
That's the thing is,
yeah,
if you're cooking something, if you're dating a girl and she's like, I'm cooking, I'm making a stir fry. It's Stir Friday. She's sending a picture of this fucking stir fry
for
shit.
Sure.
You can see her hand in the photo as she's holding the wok, whatever
Yeah.
She's like, check out my new earrings,
mm-hmm.
and she'll send a picture of her wearing her new earrings,
or with her friends, or with everything.
Yeah,
I'm lots of stuff.
Yeah, she's out.
Sure.
She's out with her friends. Yeah. And it's just a photo.
Yeah, no, honestly, I get that. Definitely, I get it starting, but definitely it went on too long. It went on way fucking too long.
Yeah, and for him to not press the issue or question it at all, and just like he's either. I mean, I think he's enormously dumb guy. I think Teo's just. I think he's an idiot. I think he's dumb. But
why?
It's also, but I mean, again, and it's it's an immovable dumb object and an unstoppable evil force.
Well, a part of me thinks like, I wonder if it's his religion that made him, because of his like faith and
Certainly
everything.
part of it, yeah.
That he was just like, oh man, I'm so excited to meet this girl. This is God's plan for us. I wonder if that like was a part of his logic, through it all.
It's a part of it. It's also, it's a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Of all these kind of factors had to tie in together, because he's a lonely guy at a school he shouldn't have gone to.
He didn't even want to go to that school.
No, he's an idiot. He thought God, he thought he had a vision, whatever, inspiration from God,
Sure.
that he went to Notre Dame instead of USC, where he should have gone, or literally anywhere else. But so he's lonely, isolates himself in Indiana, in this community he shouldn't be in.
Maybe that's why he was susceptible to it. Maybe?
That's what I mean.
Like the perfect storm of
Yes, that's why I said because it's that he's like a hyper focused football guy. He is a very focused person. He's a hyper focused football guy. They mention a relationship that doesn't take up much of his time is actually great for him.
Yep.
Because he doesn't want to be spending a bunch of time with a girl anyways. Because he's
doing a football.
Yeah, he's always doing football. And then the religion thing of, he's trying to be kind, and he's trying to follow his religion, and he's not trying to he's not trying to have premarital sex or whatever else.
Yeah, premarital jizzing. Is that what you meant to say?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what it's called. Yeah, he's not trying to do any of that. So this relationship is he's the perfect candidate for a man to prey upon.
Yeah. I mean, some red flags, so many red flags, but also Lanaya, was that the fake girl's Lene? She didn't look. Is it Polynesian?
That's what they were saying.
Like she didn't look like, she looked like very white.
That's what I thought.
Like, I'm like, what? I just would have thought like, this seems too good to be true.
The photos we can see were all
like that girl.
She
looks like a girl that would eat chili salsa and be like, "Ooh, that's too spicy." You know what I mean? Like she's that kind of white.
Yeah. Yeah, she looked very white. I didn't see the Polynesian in it. Maybe it was all going off the name Kekua. It was like, oh, that's the.
Well, she's got the last name.
She's got a Polynesian name.
Yeah.
I guess it's like when you hear the name Patrice O'Neill, you think white Irish woman. You don't think enormous black dude.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. Okay, and he was Mormon, right? Like they were Mormon?
Yeah.
That to me, I wish they would have talked more about that. That was more interesting. Not more interesting, but as interesting to me. Like, I didn't know there was like Mormon
in Hawaii.
There's
a lot. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well,
like that to me was interesting.
And that brings me to one of my notes is like, I'm listening to it the way you just said it.
Yeah.
I wrote, is that how you pronounce Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah,
is that why there's
technically?
I was like, Jesus, dude, we shouldn't even own that state.
Yeah.
That really shouldn't be.
It's not, has nothing
free Hawaii. All right.
Yeah.
This is a hashtag free. This is a free Hawaii podcast.
I was watching it with my roommates and I'm like, they're saying Hawaii wrong.
I know.
Like, they're saying it wrong.
I was like, I had no idea that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Mormons went to Hawaii to convert, after America conquered and took Hawaii, we sent
the Mormons
we sent our worst religion there to go fucking convert them. Like, just
what if you guys were more confused?
Yeah, let my people go, man.
What if you guys started to play football?
This is a free Hawaii podcast. Yeah, that was crazy. And then then let's see. I'm gonna look at my notes because there's a couple things. Oh yeah, there's a there's a couple things I want to get to before I get to a chunk. We're gonna get back into Ronaya, and I'm gonna get to this person's. I'm gonna get into her delusions and some of her sociopathy and some of the stuff that really makes her a terrible, terrible person. And some of the things she said that just gnawed at me, and I was furious as I'm watching this fucking psychopath talk. Two things. One thing that made me laugh, I have this written down, is so when in the second episode, the second half of the documentary, we see the Deadspin.
Yeah.
The Deadspin intern.
Kicks in.
The Deadspin intern and the actual reporter who did all the work. The intern who got like the tip, he's talking. First of all, those guys are kind of annoying.
They're both annoying.
At no point was I like, the Deadspin guys are cool. They suck. They honestly, every single
guy with the 40 Batcave monitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, his haircut I've never seen before on a human.
Every single person in this story fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate everybody involved. From if you're a Notre Dame fan,
yeah,
from the most casual Notre Dame fan to just anybody, if you're marginally involved in this story, I just know that I fucking hate your guts. But the two Deadspin guys were beyond irritating. But the intern who was like, I was just interning at Deadspin. It was a small publication. There was only like 10 employees. I was just one of the interns. He was like, I wasn't even paid. I was paid in sandwiches. He laughed. And I was like, well, clearly. That joke makes sense if you watch him and you see what he looks like. He looks like a dude who was paid in sandwiches 10 years ago. Fit?
I'm doing a bit.
Oh. So that was funny. The other thing that made me laugh, one thing I noticed is whenever Manti Teo's dad is on screen talking about it, just watch him. Just watch him.
Yeah. Because
he's talking about a traumatic time in his son's life, but he seems like a real ass dude. He's laughing. He thinks it's pretty funny.
I think the dad was pretty hilarious. Also, he was like, his dad was such a dad that clearly trained his kid to be a machine robot sport thinker.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I just couldn't believe that that this happened to my eldest son. And it's like, dude, like, I don't know. His son was a paycheck for him, for sure, I feel like.
I mean, eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was funny. I had it like the very end when they're talking about like the thing we were talking about earlier about like the memes and the online bullying. Like then the memes started coming out, and then they put up on the screen all the different like jokes of like somebody with their arm around nobody.
Yeah,
and it's like Manti Teo and his girlfriend, all like the imaginary person type of joke. But the dad going like, yeah, and then the memes started coming out and all the online jokes, but he's smiling throughout it. He's smiling that entire scene, the last part of the second episode.
My fucking idiot son.
He's every time he's on screen, he's kind of got a smirk about it because I think he thinks it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think he's like
he looks up the memes at night, like every night before he goes to bed. He's like, I'll be right there, honey.
He's come to terms with it anyways.
Yeah.
He's I think the dad's the only one going like...
He's making memes. He's like...
I don't know about that.
That would be funny.
Yeah, he's
like a meme admin.
Yeah, the dad's on 4chan. The dad's catfishing other people. Just like, this is fucking great.
It's like, what? You could just do this?
This whole family is just a nightmare of catfishers and catfishees.
Yeah, dude. Nothing going on in Mormon Hawaii.
No, I think the dad is just... I think he's come to terms. I think 10 years on, he's like, I know it sucked for my son and everybody involved, but I got to be totally honest. It was pretty funny. I think that's where his head's at.
Look, Manti, he's fine.
He won't say it, but I'm saying it for you, Mr. Teo. You're right. It was pretty funny.
Also, I wish they would have shown Manti Teo's wife. He got a wife now.
Well, yeah. I'm sure he eventually got married.
He did, but I would have liked to have been like, he's like, yeah, and now I have a hot wife, and It's pretty cool.
That's his redemption. Is like,
yeah.
see, I did finally get pussy. Like, you know, there's no need to see his wife. She's not part of the story.
Well, I wanted to see it.
His romantic life has been public enough. Let his wife stay not famous.
What if his wife wasn't even real? Or like, what if she was like a double agent and she was like wearing a mask? Manti Teo too.
A mask.
The girlfriend that was there,
his wife
wasn't his wife.
His wife is actually Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
just with like the most realistic mask ever.
That would be tight. That would be really cool.
He gets home. Him and his wife get home every night, and she takes off her mask, and she's Philip Seymour Hoffman.
You think he would kill himself? He'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Philip Seymour Hoffman didn't actually die. He's been posing as Manti's wife for the last 3 years.
Of course. I knew it. I knew there was more to the story untold.
Yeah, no, that's not it. He probably just didn't want his wife to be part of it. And
yeah, that makes sense.
It's fine. It's crazy. Anyway, I'll get to that later. Dangerously, I've got a list of things that Renaya said talking about
her involvement.
But before we get to that, I want that to be kind of like a section. Most of it is just like, I can't believe this person is saying this. I can't believe this person is saying this. Oh, here's a funny one. Imagine if the girl, whatever her name is, Diane O'Meara, the girl who was the actual photos from Lene Kakua.
Yeah, the actual person. Yeah.
It made me laugh in my head thinking, like, what if this is the first time she hears of it? She's just like watching this Netflix documentary in 2022.
What the fuck?
She's like, that's fucking me. Like, nobody ever told her. We forgot to tell her at the time.
I would like to know. I wish they would have interviewed her now, because they didn't really do that.
Sure they did.
No, they showed her interview. Did they? I thought they just showed old interviews with her, like in a news story. I don't think they showed modern her.
I thought we saw a little bit of her.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. You know what would be the redemption arc? Manti Teo got married. Like you said, I don't know who he's married to. He's probably married to some fucking whoever. Manti, divorce your wife. The only way you can clear your good name once and for all is you have to go marry Diane.
That would have been nice. That would have been nice.
What if
a nice bow tie?
What if this like scandal, like what if they
brought them
together, and then they hit it off and actually started dating?
Yeah.
And he's just like,
very Hallmark.
I've only ever had eyes for you.
That's the line.
I've seen 19 photos of you, and I've just been in love with you for 3 years.
And she's like, no, you're an idiot.
Yeah. She's like, oh, you're dumb.
I don't even find you attractive. And he's like just crushed twice by the real and fake version of,
or the real one's like, sure, we can go out, and she just like, leaves him at the bar to go fuck her ex-boyfriend. He just like gets cucked constantly.
Yeah. It's like, my life.
Manti is
damn it, we started making fun of him.
Manti's like he's like Mr. Magoo. He just keeps like walking through these terrible situations, like raging
with
around
her.
him, and he's just completely oblivious the whole time.
What?
Yeah, that'd be funny. All right, one more thing before we get to the let's get trashed. Renaya, whatever, is a dangerously delusional person. Oh yeah, this is funny. Anybody watching this podcast, if you're into catfishing, you have my permission. Just go ahead and use my photos. I don't know if my photos are going to open any doors for you, kid, but you're welcome to try. Please make a fake profile with my photos, and if you can get any sort of attention at all, pretty sick. But you're welcome to go for it.
I wonder if you feel the attention in the universe. Like if someone uses your photos and someone's like, ooh, you're attractive. Like, do you, like during the day, do you get like a little pick me up, like magic?
My ears are burning.
Like, ooh.
My ears are burning. Somebody must be using my photo to impersonate me and start a relationship.
Yeah, that's what I like to think happens.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case.
Okay.
But yeah, no, just reach out to me. Be like, hey, I'm using your photos to catfish somebody. Can I get a photo of you holding a newspaper and a thumbs up? I'll be like, I'll send it to you in 30 seconds.
Tight.
I'm here to help. I'm here to help the catfishing community.
Let's bring catfishing back.
Yeah, let's get catfished.
Yes.
It's the new podcast.
And sound off in the comments if you have ever been on a date and found out that it wasn't, somebody you thought, or if you had a weird.
Yeah.
Or just raise your hand.
I mean, I imagine that's happened to all of us.
I think at this point.
Resort to online dating. I had that sometime within the last year. I met, went out with a girl. Her photos were, when she showed up, she didn't look like her photos. They were clearly from a few years ago, apparently.
Sure.
I thought they were more contemporary.
And that's lying, right? I would say that's lying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Lying certainly has some malicious intent. She was a very sweet person.
Yep.
The question is like, well, when you're online dating and you have to make this profile, you have to put your best foot forward.
Sure.
This is the best. This is my favorite picture of me. This is the best picture of me. I look good in this picture. It's like well lit. I'm wearing something cool. This is a great picture of me.
Yep.
Now you have to do the balance of like, oh, my best picture of me is from 2017.
Yeah.
That is a good picture of me. Or 2019. Is 2020 too long ago?
No.
What's
I think
the
year and a half.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think there's
not a rule. That's my
not
rule.
a rule.
But yeah.
We need a movie. You know what? Remember how the movie Swingers in the 90s codified the 3-date rule?
Mm-hmm.
The 3-day rule. Like, when do you call a woman after you get her number? 3 days. And then, it's like, I wait 5 days, but the standard is 3. 8 days. That was like the first time they had like made that a rule.
Sure.
We need to do that. Some film needs to come out that's like, and get pop culture.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
To kind of codify this for us, so we can have like a rule of, because we also have the rule like who's too young, half your age plus 7. Anybody lower than that is too young.
Ah.
So whatever, you're 30.
31.
Let's do 30 because that's better math for me.
Sure.
So half of 30 is 15 plus 7 is 22. So a 30-year-old should not be dating anybody younger than 22.
Yeah, and I would even say,
I mean, sure, you're allowed to whatever, but that's
24.
That's a
Maybe 25.
That's a commonly known rule.
Absolutely.
Half your age plus 7. But whatever. So we need something like that. We need the version of that of how old is this photo appropriate?
Yeah.
But again, I think most of it comes down to like, I just want to put my best pictures out there and what pictures I really like of myself and make me look good. And then it's like, well, yeah, but if that's not a accurate reflection of what you look like now.
I mean, you get,
I
feel like you get a bunch of chances on, it's like you get like multiple photos you could put up. You could put one that's like, this is me now.
Well, you can caption it as well. You can be like, here's me
this summer.
Here's me 5 years ago in Italy.
Yeah.
Here's me.
Little bit.
Here's me from Austin City Limits in October last year.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I don't know.
It's a whole thing.
You've been catfished?
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, there's been different situations. There's definitely been an online situation where like, okay, this person wasn't like willing to do video or something, and like it's like, okay, I had to call it. There's been a time where like even recently, dude, like this past, like maybe last month or so, like I met up with a girl, and I actually had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't necessarily look like her photos, I would say. Yeah, like it felt pretty misleading.
Yeah,
and honestly, it wasn't. I guess the end of the world. Like I went on it. We had a second date. Even it was fine.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know. It feels a little like malicious to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sometimes it's also sometimes a lot of it is like, even if the photos are recent or contemporary, the the angles or
yeah,
whatever.
there's a lot of bullshit.
There's a lot of like lighting stuff or just a lot of kind of stuff that you can do.
Oh, dude, one time, this is actually a true story. I was, how old was I? I was in high school. I was like 17, maybe 16. I stole my dad's car to go meet up with this girl.
Okay.
I met on Facebook, I think. Big girl.
Okay.
Apparently. I didn't know this. And I was like, fuck, I drove like 30 miles to meet you. And we had sex in my dad's car. I was like, damn. I was like, I put in all this work and I met you.
I mean, we're here.
But hey, dude,
It's obviously,
shout out to the big girls,
It's
dude.
obviously middle of the night.
Shout out to the big girls.
I mean, we're already here.
I won't dox her, but
certainly not.
That was I mean, look, man, she got me. She really got me.
Yes, you did.
But I was surprised from the angles, and I was like, "You are what?"
Yeah.
I was like, "How?"
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. But I mean, I learned my fucking lesson then.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I can't tease you. I wasn't in high school, but it was like early on when I first got on like Tinder or whatever. I mean, that's happened. That's happened plenty of times. It's just like, well, you don't look a lot like these photos, but what
Shout out to the big girls.
Let's see the other. All right, we're gonna get into a group of Renaya quotes.
Tight.
One that made me laugh is when she goes, because as a young man, Renaya was a football player in high school, but didn't care for it. The whole family loved football.
Yeah.
But Renaya was very glad to get out of that.
She liked piano.
Yeah, she liked other stuff. She was a musician and wanted to be more involved in the church, all that kind of stuff. But she says dating online, dating Manti Teo, in a weird way, I started to take interest in football again.
Oh yeah, and then giving him calls and tips, and
she was anti-football, and then she just got back into it just because of how much she had invested into Manti. And then she was like, even to the point where I was like paying attention to the defenses and reading tips. I gave him defense tips that helped him win the game. And it's like, no, you didn't, bitch. He didn't have his phone with him on the sidelines. That's arguably her being like, I gave him some defense tips.
Yeah.
And then they won that game.
That's peak
her taking
delusion.
That's the most delusional thing she's ever done.
Sure.
That's way more delusional than
like, would he be as successful if it wasn't for me? Like that was kind of her angle the whole time. I mean, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
She says that.
Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Whenever Manti was being interviewed after Lene's death, he said, Lene's always told me to be humble. That's like a quote, when they're asking him about how he feels about his miraculous senior season. And he's like, Lene always told me to be humble. And then this fucking bitch goes, in a weird, crazy way, my message got across to him. Like he, I know it's a roundabout way, but the important thing is that
somehow he got my message.
The important thing is that he got my message of, he learns to be humble from me.
If it wasn't for me.
So it's honestly like I didn't even do that bad of a thing because he is a humble guy. And her going, it was wild, it was reckless, it was crazy. With her eyes got all big, like it was a crazy time in all of our lives. Like, wow, it was so wild.
You did this.
Yes, like, bitch, you did it.
You did it.
She's saying it like she's fucking Ron Burgundy, like after the big fight.
That was wild.
Man, that got out of
believe that.
That really got out of hand.
Yeah.
That escalated quickly. Yeah. Brick killed a guy.
Yeah. I manipulated a guy.
Yeah. I destroyed a guy's confidence and self-esteem for decades, and destroyed his
first draft pick,
financial chances in the profession. You know,
that
she's
was
like,
wild.
That really went there.
I gotta go. I can't believe I brought my fake character back to life.
This one really made me sick. This one really made me sick. She's talking about later, after this whole hoax came out, after Renaya and all her thing, when she like finally made the decision to like transition, and she moved back to American Samoa. She moved back to Samoa and do the transition and like live her life as a woman and stuff, and like come to terms with it. She goes, I put myself on the back burner. The reason I'm doing this now, I put myself on the back burner all those years. So moving forward, I just had to start living my life because because she genuinely thinks that she was not. I mean,
present for that.
That's the kind of.
Is that
thing,
what she's saying?
No. It's worse than that.
Okay.
That's the kind of thing. I put myself on the back burner all these years. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was too busy taking care of Manti and other people.
I was developing an athlete.
I wasn't worrying about. Yeah, exactly. Like she's Burgess Meredith. I was training him to be the best. Yeah. You're gonna crap thunder and shit lightning or whatever. Yeah. She goes, I put myself on the back burner, so moving forward, I realized I had to just start living my life for me. That's something you say if you've been sacrificing for something, like a person, like a teen mom who has to. You have to put your 20s on hold so you can raise a child. Yeah. Or someone who enlisted in the military during their youth, and it's like I spent my years serving the country, and I didn't do it for myself. Or even someone you're supporting your spouse.
Yeah, that shit's fucking crazy.
Your husband is in medical school, and you're the one that has to work. You're working 2 jobs to pay for his schooling until he gets done and can start working and pitching in. Or even if you're a woman who's in a bad relationship and you're just trying to make it work, and eventually you realize I just can't do this anymore. You have to start doing things for you and not for this person you're with.
Yeah.
Those are the kinds of people that say that. Not a gay psycho who is doing a girl voice on the phone and beating off to their favorite football player. That's what you were not putting yourself on the back burner. You were injecting yourself into, an innocent, stupid man's life.
Dude, yeah.
That one really got me. Her going, someone out there needs to hear my story. She says that like as like somebody else could take comfort from someone else. Someone out there has to hear my story, so they can take comfort in the fact.
I mean, I'm just glad they got her to do the interview. I will say that, even if she was kind of delusional.
She's extremely
delusional, kind of propping every phrase to kind of point back into some sympathy for her and how challenging it was for her, and how that to me, the language was pretty gnarly, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, she is very kind to herself.
Yeah.
And then the last one, so she kills off Lene, or Renaya kills off the Lene character. So, because she knows she recognizes it spiraling out of control, and she thinks Manti is going to find out about it.
Yep.
So she kills Lene, and then as cousin Renaya goes to a game in California to see Notre Dame play USC or whatever California school, and she brings the niece, or he was a man at the time. Renaya brings the niece, and they're talking, and then there's video of it. We see video of Manti.
That shit is wild.
We see video of Manti and Renaya like hug over their shared
grief.
Their shared grief over the death of Lene Kakua.
Who's fake.
Who's played by Renaya. Who's Renaya? Who's the guy who's the man that's right there? in front of you.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
And then Renaya goes, I mean, goes, this can't be over. Like, this poor bastard is so in love with Manti.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't. Honestly, if they had just walked away then, no, they still would have found out it was all fake.
Yeah.
Because they found out it was fake even before Lene came back to life. Or Deadspin was onto it even like before that. But I don't know. But it's just crazy to love this dude so much that you'd be like, I guess that's the most reckless thing is like, let me try to bring her back to life. Not even let me try to create a new character and maybe I'll create a new person and that can
I'll just bring her back.
That can console this dude. Like, let me bring her back. Let me trot out some of the old hits.
And then she also killed the fake character on the same day his grandmother died. It's almost like you need that much attention that because the grandmother's dying, you need to kill your fake character to get his attention. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, did they explain that?
I mean, kinda.
Did she say that's why she did it, or was that something she was like planning on doing it that day anyways, and then was that a coincidence or was that?
I don't think that was a coincidence. Like, she knew for sure that the grandmother had died.
But killing off Lene wasn't a snap decision either.
Yeah, she was. I guess she was already trying to kill her off.
That's the thing.
To end it. But then to also choose to do it, I guess should be maybe a better way to phrase it. Choose to do it on the day that the grandmother died. It's like, well, we might as well kill her.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it almost makes it better because what do you want it to? Then you
just kind of knock it out.
I mean, do you go on if you're like, I'm gonna kill Lene today, and then you get the text from Manti being like, my grandma died. Do you be like, fuck, I can't kill Lene today because he's feeling bad? I gotta wait. What? I gotta wait a month?
I gotta wait a calendar month.
That's another month of like,
unless it's February, maybe. Yeah,
that's another month of
grief.
Well, it's another month of like you might get caught. Don't forget, things were on the rocks, and she was worried about getting found out anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What would you do if you were Manti and you knew the human? Would you take vengeance? Weaponry vengeance.
Would I go to Japan and get a samurai sword made like Kill Bill?
Yeah.
Like would I
Yeah.
I turn into Uma Thurman and I just go back and I just samurai sword everybody that's ever wronged me. Wearing a yellow
exactly
motorcycle outfit.
Yep.
I don't know.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It does sound like a lot of work. Honestly, I might have to just give this one to you. All right. I was like, oh, you got me good.
Yeah, you got me.
Oh man.
Oh, nice. Good one.
Caught me slipping.
You got me slipping. I did not come correct for this.
That one's again. If Manti had any, Manti says he doesn't get revenge because he's a Christian, humble guy.
Yeah.
But
and he forgave her.
But he should also be like, again, if I heard him say, yeah, it's a little bit on me. It's actually a lot. I shoulder a lot of the blame for this situation going on as long as it did.
He did not. He definitely didn't say that. I would have appreciated that.
Yeah, he didn't say it at all.
Yeah, he should have been like,
"No, he thinks
look, guys, this was just a bad move on my part." Like, he could still explain himself. Like, yeah, this was happening. Blah blah blah. I was young, but I should not have fucking, gotten catfish like this. This dirty.
He could have been like, "Look, this could happen to anybody, but for it to go on that long and be this like, cataclysmic, that's like a lot of that's me." The first, I'm gonna give him credit. I'm gonna say the first 6 months could happen to anybody.
Also, would you believe in God still if that happened?
Manti's not even.
He's like, what the fuck?
You're like, would you get revenge on Renaya? Manti's like, I'm not getting revenge on Renaya. I'm gonna go kill God. like he's fucking Constantine or.
I mean, what if you're religious? You're like, what's the lesson here? You know, what did I do, or was this like some sort of? Is this God's plan? You know, that's why you think.
Is this God's plan?
Yeah.
Look, God's got a lot of free time.
God's a side character in this story.
God's got a lot of time on his hands. He likes to fuck around with some of his favorite toys every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know how you get.
Make a good documentary out of it.
You get your G.I. Joe and you get your Barbie and you make them go through these weird
Beep boop
toy scenarios.
They try each other's clothes on.
That's what he does. He just took 2 G.I. Joes and made
scrambled them up.
Yeah, God's just playing on the floor of his. He's like, what if I took these 2 characters and
this guy seems to like me, and this guy seems to be the devil. Let's put them together.
Just make
for a
crazy.
Netflix entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Poor Manti. Again, perfect storm. It could have only happened to him at this magnitude.
Sure.
Just because everything was because of the way he is. Although I will say, shout out, dude, Manti Teo 2022 is looking fucking good, dude. You're looking handsome.
He looks like a different person.
He looks way different.
Yeah, he looks like a goddamn man.
He looks handsome as hell.
Yeah.
He's got a good ass haircut.
Oh yeah.
All those videos. I was like, the only thing I didn't remember from this whole story was all these videos of college Manti. I was like, damn, did he always look that stupid?
Like a baby.
He had like the worst haircut, and he has the critter teeth.
Yeah.
Like, you remember that book, The Critters?
Yeah, I mean,
all of his teeth are like
tiny.
All of his teeth are like round, round nubs, and they're all like a quarter inch away from each other. He looks like one of the critters.
Yeah, it kind of makes me feel bad not feel bad, but have a different understanding of college ball. Like, oh, these are just fucking kids.
Yeah, they are. I mean, yeah, they are
children.
kids for sure.
What
but
the fuck are we doing?
I didn't remember Manti looking that like. Damn, dude, it looks weird. But yeah, he looks great now. Good for you, Manti.
He grew up. My boy grew up. His brain got fully developed.
He's grown up, and he's grown up, and he's grown up.
His brain wasn't fully developed, you know. He was
true.
getting fucking catfished out there in these streets, and
he should have blamed some of it on CTE. He could have gotten a lot of points. He's like,
I mean, I would have sued somebody if I get catfished like that dirty. I'm suing somebody.
CTE is the concussion disease.
No, I'm talking about a different thing. I'm doing that too, but I'm also suing somebody.
There's no one to sue. There's no one to sue. I did see a lot of people on
defamation
on Twitter being like, Renaya should be in prison. Like, I can't believe that. Not everybody was sympathetic to her.
Yep.
A lot of people were like going hard. Like, it is sick what this person did. They're right. This person should be in prison. They're wrong. Because it's like there's not a crime.
It's true. It's not a crime,
right? To lie to a.
No, it's not a crime. But it's so wrong. It's weird that it's not a crime.
I mean, what would the crime
charge be?
Just lying.
What would the punishment be?
Lying to somebody for attention. Yeah. If lying to someone for attention is a crime, there's a lot of Instagrammers out there going to fucking life prison. We're throwing Addison Rae and Alcatraz or whatever, you know, with any Instagram influencer, anybody that's like advertising something, TikTokers,
they're lying.
Yeah,
everyone's lying.
Yeah, we're all gonna we have to turn New York into a prison like a John Carpenter movie.
Take on to prison, boys.
So, you know, anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't wish her harm, but I wish there was some sort of like justice.
Yeah.
Good old Batman justice.
Yeah.
Maybe she can fight a Batman type character in battle in Mortal Kombat.
Just make her fight the Riddler.
Guy. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm thinking.
You want Renaya to be thrown in Arkham Asylum?
I want her to be thrown in a gladiator pit, and she has to fight like not the Batman because he's not real. We know that. But like a fit guy that can do karate in a Batman costume, or he has gadgets.
The Thor movie where Thor and Hulk had to fight in the gladiator ring.
Odin's son.
She's the third one. It's just Thor, Hulk, and then Linnea Kakua.
How did I get here? And she catfished them both somehow. Like,
Yeah.
that's her superpower. She
Yeah.
had already been catfishing them for weeks.
That's the thing is there's no like solution to any of this, but it's worth keeping. It's worth keeping an eye on this person. I think, you know.
I mean, at least she didn't.
because-
Hey, let's be honest. At least she didn't resort to murder, because usually this type of, fucking mental illness goes way too far.
It could have.
It could. She.
I mean, yeah.
If it's when it's about control like this heavy, like I'm surprised she didn't kill a motherfucker.
But who?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like this type of social like insanity. Like I feel like murder. This is like a recipe for murderdom.
Yeah, I mean, she murdered Lene Kukua. There's no.
Brought her back.
Yeah, and then brought her back to life. She's like a Christ figure almost.
Yeah, you could say she's the Christ.
Yeah.
You could say.
You know, she brought Lene back like it should be Lazarus Kukua.
Yeah, Lazarus. Okay, I like these episodes, dude. We got to educate people more.
Yeah, dude. This is a great episode of Let's Get Educated. We're being so smart here on the cast. Let me know.
Oh, this is great.
If you sound off in the comments, pound off in the comments. If you
Pound each other in the comments.
yeah, if you disagree, if you agree, whatever. If you have another documentary recommendation, we might do another Let's Get Educated.
I can say I'm not super into true crime.
Yeah, for sure.
So if we could not do one of those,
It's up to us. We do whatever we want. We can't even do fucking fake crimes of the future because you're such a
I don't like
pussy.
real crimes or fake crimes.
We're supposed to.
I don't like true crime or future crimes.
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing crimes of the future, but I got a text last night being
I
like,
couldn't do
I
it.
don't think I can finish this movie. I'm too scared.
There wasn't any catfishing in it.
I'm too afraid of
I was high.
what's on my TV.
I didn't like what I was seeing.
Yeah, you're a baby. All right, Jimmy. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Sound off in the comments. Let us know what you want. If again, it's very tricky. If you think I said the wrong thing, leave a comment, and then also go fuck yourself. Because I didn't. And anyway, Jimmy, where can the people find you?
Instagram, Sleepy Cowboy TX. You should be able to find everything on there.
Yeah, and you have some new music.
Yes, I have a release Friday. I don't know when this is coming out.
I'm going to try to edit this tonight and get it out for tomorrow.
Okay. So if you guys are seeing this the day it comes out, tomorrow, I have a song coming out.
September 2nd.
Yeah, September 2nd.
So go to Sleepy Cowboy on Spotify.
Yes, Sleepy Cowboy TX.
That's Instagram, and then on
Instagram,
Spotify it's just Sleepy Cowboy.
Spotify, Sleepy Cowboy.
Yeah. All right. And as always, I'm Nick Tazo. Can be found at Nick Tazo Drums on Instagram, at Nick Tazo on Twitter. So please give me a follow. Follow the podcast. Get Trashed Pod at Let's Get Trashed. All that kind of stuff. And like and subscribe. Please share it. Subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's get educated. No, I'm kidding. Let's get trashed.